In this particular video, I am set up between two major bed areas and actually right over the top of a doe bed area. They typically will bed up on the hill, the bucks and the clear cuts. I'm in a strip of woods between two clear cuts. The clear cuts behind me is an older age class, and the clear cut in front of me is a much younger age class clear cut. The deer filter in from these clear cuts out of the wood edges from all different directions, but they all venture down to this one little pinch point. What makes it a pinch point over all the other areas in this particular spot, I honestly don't know. I really thought the pinch point would be 200 yards north of here, but sitting there I could look at the binoculars and watch all the deer filter into this one little area. I just do what the deer tell me to do. If the deer are using this area, then that's where I want to sit. I think the deer should be in the other area. Makes more sense to me, but you know what? I'm going to let the deer tell me where to hunt. I'm not going to try to overthink this hunting situation. The deer are using this area, they're using it heavily, and I want to be where the action is. So this is my setup. These does are eventually going to just mill around here for sometimes an hour, 30 minutes, and then they'll just flop down. I am in the bottom drainage. I'm literally, my tree stand is probably 3 feet from a creek. So why do the deer come down into the bottom and basically bed in this SMZ? I've seen does do it many times. The bucks, they're going to have a tendency to bed up in the clear cut, pretty close to the top of the ridge. The wind basically in this area is pretty steady. The does will bed, they'll have a little bit of thicket to their back. The wood line is not very far from them. Usually if they get jumped, they'll blow into that wood line, and it's pretty thick woods in there. The bucks, if you bust them, they will always run over the hill away from you, further out into the clear cut. This particular clear cut is probably 5 years old. The one behind me is probably 10, 12 years old. It's much thicker. All this area in here is strip mine area. It's been reclaimed. None of it is really good at growing anything for that matter. So it takes these clear cuts a little longer to develop. As you can see, these deer, they're already at the area they want to bed. They're in no particular hurry to get anywhere. They're already where they want to be. They're going to mill around on some browse. They may do this for, sometimes I've seen them do this for 2 hours, just milling around, drive you crazy. You got all these eyes, ears, noses around you. You know you're going to get busted sooner or later. But some reason, these deer don't bust me nearly as much as they should. This doe, she's looking up the hill into the clear cut. She's standing in the edge of the SMZ looking out into the clear cut because she spotted a buck. There he is. A nice little 6-point. He's headed to his bed area. He knows the does are down there. He also knows none of them are in heat. The rut's not kicked in. He's probably been checking them all night long, for that matter. He's just going to slowly scan the area. These deer don't move very fast when they're in these clear cuts. Now, if you'll pay attention to this buck, he's going to zigzag his way up to the top of the hill. Some people say they do a J hook before they go into their bed area. I think this buck is really checking to see if there's other deer bedded in the area. Maybe he's doing the zigzag before he beds down so that he can watch his back trail a little bit better. As you see, he's going up, just fixing to get in where it really gets thick, close to the top of this clear-cut hill. And that's where he's going to bed. I can't prove it, but the buck reacts in such a way that I can't help but think that there's another buck bedded up there, because he just really locks up right there. And he is looking at something. I'm pretty sure there's another buck bedded up there, and he's watching the buck. I cannot see the buck. I've looked that hillside over with my binoculars. Think I may have caught a glimpse of antler once, but that's just my mind probably playing tricks on me. Or it could be a buck. At any rate, he is locked in on something, and he's headed straight to it, so I'm pretty sure that it's a buck. And he's just going to go up there and bed pretty close to where the other buck is. I see this a lot with buck deer. They'll bed together when it's not typically in the rut. This doe's just going to stand there and study these bucks, making sure that they're going to leave her alone, I guess. And she's just going to bed right there. She's content where she's at. I've got several does standing around me, and they all got their attention on that buck. It's always fun to sit and watch deer, especially when you got them this close to me. This doe is probably 10 yards at the most. She's 15 yards from the stand. There's several within 30 yards of the stand. This is where they like to bed. There's a little clump of bushes just past her, and there's 3 deer bedding in it already. Didn't get them on film. It's just really too thick to try to film inside that clump of bushes, but they just almost crawl up under that mess and lay down. And then when they just disappear, you can't even see them. Guys, I love this stuff. They probably laid there 3 hours, and now they're going to get up, they're going to jump across the ditch and head to the older age class clear cut. They always go that direction. I've never seen a deer come from the other direction. to bed. They may come through there just traveling through, but never in this scenario. They'll ease out through there, check things out, mill around a little bit, and then once they decide that they're gonna take off across this clear cut, they just pretty much do a steady walk. Eventually these does will all end up higher elevation on the hill on the opposite clear cut. Notice they didn't walk toward the bucks where they know the bucks are bedded. I find that interesting. Lets me know that these does ain't in heat. They're not interested in these guys whatsoever. They're just going to try to maybe avoid them, for that matter. Not too sure. You know, women like to play hard to get sometimes. But I see this scenario play out multiple sits. It's kind of their routine. And I keep thinking one day the big boy is going to walk through there checking these does. And when he does, I'm going to be sitting there waiting. This particular area has a giant 10 point. And I am pretty sure he's bedded less than 100 yards from me. But I can't prove it. I hunted him all year long, never laid eyes on him, but I know he's there. All these does, single file, one after the other, they're all going to the next patch of thicket stuff up on the higher elevation, and that's where they'll probably mill around and bed down again until they get ready to go feed, either in a green field or acre flat, which is on the opposite side of the hill. They got several different directions they can go. Guys, get out there, watch deer, have fun. You'll learn so much by just watching these deer. Not all about killing everything you see. You'll learn more just watching. Good luck.